Guys, welcome once again to my channel, P418 Millennial. Like I mentioned, Proverbs 4:18, for the path of the just is like a shining light that shines ever brighter unto the perfect day. All right, like I promised, this week we're going to be talking about how to budget. And frankly, it's not really what you think I'm going to say. Well, let's assume you kind of have an idea of where I'm going with this. But I'm not really trying to go into the nitty-gritty of exactly what you need to be, what you need to have in your budget, but really the idea behind having a budget. Let's first of all nullify all the thoughts and myths out there that people feel like, you can't budget, or if you budget, then you're stingy. I mean, how does that even make sense? It's like saying if you're planning to succeed, then you are kind of, I don't know. I think that a lot of people try to pass over their own ideas as the gospel because that kind of makes them sleep well at night. And really, like I mentioned earlier, from the very beginning of all the things that we're doing, it's like you need to figure out why you're doing this. Are you doing this for yourself? And if so, you need to be able to redefine some of these things that you're hearing. If you have a budget, it doesn't mean you're stingy. You just need to make sure that you have adequate categories for all the things that you want. If you give people, fine, put that in your budget as well. If you like to do certain type of activities, fine, put that in your budget as well. Everything that you need to do or that you do, you just want to give yourself boundaries. You want to give yourself like a cap over your different activities. You cannot just live your life on a whim, just hey, like YOLO. And I understand it, YOLO. Live your best life. You only live once, but people never tell you that you only die once as well. So what is all of this about? We millennials and Generation Z, we're always looking for the shortest cord out of things and fastest food and all these different things that we do, and really it makes no sense. If you take a moment to think about it logically, these things make no sense. Budgeting doesn't make you stingy. Budgeting doesn't mean that you cannot spend money or that you're in some type of a cage. That makes no sense. It is actually the opposite of it. It is very liberating. If you know that every month, if I stick to my budget, I'm going to save X amount of money. And by the time 3 months rolls around, I will have enough money in my budget to either buy that car that I've been wanting to buy, to make this purchase I've been wanting to do, to buy that home, to build generational wealth. Think about how liberating that is, as opposed to just winging it. Like, think about you setting goals and actually hitting your goals. How liberating that feels to you, how good you feel when you hit a goal. It's the same thing. Budgeting just you just put your life in a plan. Planning your life doesn't mean that you are rigid, because a lot of people feel like it means you're rigid. No, it doesn't mean you're rigid. It really just means you have measures of success. You know when you're veering off the path that you've established for yourself, or that you've determined that you want to go on. You have a better handle on things, and that's all budgeting is about. So now let's go into a little bit of the details and the nitty-gritty of it. And if you want a little bit more hands-on experience, reach out to me, comment below, send me an email. The email will be shown right below. I'll be happy to help you. Now, how to budget. In the last video, we talked about reviewing your past statements, everything from your income statements, your bank statements, your credit card statements. Yes. Now do everything, over the past 3 months. Create categories for every single thing you've spent over the past 3 months. I don't care if you're not going to do it again going forward. Tell yourself that. But on the days that that the cravings come, I'm not going to be there. So if you go salsa dancing, put that in there. If you like buying a certain type of, sports gear, whatever, put that in there. All the different categories, no matter how little, put that in there, okay? Put every single thing that you imagine that you're going to spend money on. Do you like Starbucks? Yeah, let it go in there. Do you, have unsatiable desire for, candy? Yeah. Your groceries should include how much you're going to spend on candy. Now, why am I saying all of these things? The reason why a lot of people don't stick to their budget is because their budget is not as inclusive as possible. You want to make sure that your budget has an exhaustive list of all the things you're going to do. I don't know those categories. I mean, the obvious ones are rent, your car, if you're paying car note. And if you're paying car note, that's a story for another day. You need to get that out of your way ASAP, because the money that you're spending on that every month, you could be diverting it into something else that hopefully will bring you, some type of tangible resource. Again, the broader categories: your rent or your mortgage, whatever that looks like for you. Your insurance, for either your home insurance, your rentals insurance, or your car insurance, your car note, utilities. Bills on bills on bills, right? So all your bills that you have to pay every month, make sure that that's included. A lot of people also don't want to include things like upkeep, personal upkeep. No, I'm not talking about your bathing soap and all of that stuff. That should already be in there. I'm talking about, okay, I need $500 a month to just live. I want, if that's your, if that's your budget, if you want to go up to $1,000, if you want to go down to $200, whatever that looks like for you. I need to be able to take money and go buy me some Kit Kat, or I need to be able to take money and go buy me this nice purse or this nice shoe I just got. That needs to be in there as well. Personal, I call it fine boy, fine girl allowance. Like, you need it. Like, okay, if you're working, sis, if you're working, bro, you need it. Like, that Brazilian hair better be in your budget. So nails, if you do your nails, if you do your hair, that needs to be in there. Every single thing that you pay for, that you spend on. If you get a makeup artist to do your makeup every time you go to an event, and you think, you go to an average of maybe 2-3 events every month, given, that's 4 weekends in a month, you might go to an event every weekend. And if that's you, include that as well. Anything that you do that that you do consistently, put that in your budget. And once you have an exhaustive list of categories, then you need to add a slimmer of miscellaneous. Once you get stronger, maybe that miscellaneous is gonna dwindle, but you need that. You need that to, on the days like, I really need that extra $50. I really want to go to brunch this week and I've already expended all my brunch budget. Whatever it is, give yourself some room. As you tighten your budget, as you tighten your muscle on this, you'll be able to grow in that. So like I mentioned, go through all the, your path in detail, and do this with pen and paper. I understand all this, all these apps are out there, but nothing out there is personalized for you. And you also need to tell your brain, you need to bring your brain to the realization of everything you're doing. If you computerize everything from the jump, I've done it before. I tried it, and I had to scale back to my pen and paper and my spreadsheet, because I want a personal connection to my money. I want to know, for every dollar I've spent over the past, let me see, how long have I been doing this for? 3 to 4 years, maybe 3 years. I know every single dollar I spent on what. I may not know it here, but my spreadsheet knows it. Every single dollar, I account for it. And maybe that's a little bit too much for you. Maybe you don't want to go down that route, but start your 2020 right. Make sure that you are beginning to account for every single thing that comes to you. Because if you don't know, every year you spend thousands of dollars. I know it sounds like what? At least everybody spends, to even survive, if you're paying rent and things like that, you spend at least $20,000 every year. Whether you take it or not, if you're paying rent, if you're not living at home and things like that, you are spending at least that amount of money. The average person probably spends about, $2,000 every month. When you put in your rent and you put in your car, you put in all these different things that you expend on. And imagine if you're assuming you spend $2,000 a month, every year you're already spending $24,000. And that doesn't include all the, hey, turn up, all the shots that you buy in the club, and all the different things that you go into the store. Let me just stop by to get. You need to account for your money. Like I said, go through your past 3 months. Make sure you come up with an exhaustive list of all the categories that you need or that you spend money on. Then you need to assign numbers, realistic numbers. In fact, take an average of the monthly expenses you've kind of walked through in your past 3 months budget, and assign numbers to those. If you know that you do your nails every month or every 2 weeks, and every time you do your nails is $50, guess what? Your budget is $100. And if you give tips and your tip is lands you somewhere around $55, guess what? Your budget is going up to $120. You need to make sure that you're creating realistic budgets. And that's why this whole budgeting thing, it's not a one-time video. Like I say, we're really up, far spent on time. It's not a one-time video. I can talk about this for a long time. This is a vehicle that gets you where you want to go. I'm going to stop here for today. Ask me any questions, put in comments below. Let's talk about this. I'm gonna really, revamp and rebuild this whole idea of budgeting again. We're gonna talk about it again, maybe not on the next video, but really it has to be a personal journey for you, and you have to plan it out. And it doesn't mean that you're weak, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna be flexible. It just means that you are putting pen to paper and planning out your life. All right, guys, thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I appreciate and I hope that you guys have learned something from this. Please put things that you might have done, you might have worked through that has worked for you in the comments down below. I'll be looking forward to reading from you guys. And until next time, I remember your favorite girl, Decide. Bye, guys.